Hi everyone, welcome to QAWithSJ channel. In today's video, we are going to discuss bug lifecycle management. So like how we have software development lifecycle, software testing lifecycle, we do have bug lifecycle management. So here a bug, when you create a bug, it has some stages, it has some life cycles until when it is born until it is closed. Okay, so let's discuss. Let's suppose you identify a bug. Then as we discussed earlier in earlier videos, when you identify a bug, most of the organizations use either Jira, Azure, or multiple other bug tracking tools. So in one of the tool, what you can do, you will create a bug with proper details like this, right? So you will create a bug with all of these titles, statutory objectives, expected actual result, severity and priority, environment details, release version, and everything with proper screenshots and everything, right? So once you create a bug, and then you will assign. If you know who worked on particular bug, then uh, then you can assign it directly, or if you don't know, then you can assign it to a product owner or a scrum master, so they will take care of it to whom do they want to assign. Then each of the bug, when you create a bug in the in any of the tools, there is a status column. Okay, so basically the status have multiple drop down values in the particular bug tracking tools. Again, it depends on tool to tool, and you can configure it also. Okay, it has new, opened, in progress, closed, peer review, or okay, are resolved, something like that. Okay, these are different you know uh, drop downs in the status of the bug. Let's suppose you have assigned a bug, you have created an assign to a particular developer. Now the status is open. Okay, now here when the status is open, then what will happen? Then that particular bug is created. Now the status is open, you have assigned. Now what will happen after that? A developer is assigned, then developer changes to in progress, then he or she will start try to reproduce your bug. If that bug is duplicate, let's suppose someone is already created, or else they already have seen this kind of bug in somewhere, then it is a duplicate bug. Okay, now if it is something not related to bug or something, then they will simply reject it. Deferred. Deferred means it is a bug, but they are not going to fix this in this sprint or in this particular release. They're going to move it to some backlog, and they will pick it up later when it is least priority, right? If it is not a bug, then definitely if it is something functionality wise working, this is as expected, then it's a not a bug. This is what once the developer started working, they will check first. If it is a bug, then they will start working on it. They will make the status. When they are working on it, they will make a status of in progress, and then they will fix it. Once they fix it, they will start assign it back to whom? They will assign it back to a tester. Then they will make the status as resolved. Okay, here initially it is open. When they are working on it, the status will change to in progress, and then once they fixed, then the status change to resolved, and then that is pending for retest. Now who is supposed to work? Whoever is created, identified, most of that particular QA person will do that. Otherwise, if that particular QA person is occupied, then someone else will pick it up, because it has all the descriptions and everything, so that the particular QA person also will go through it and try to understand the bug, and then they will start retesting it. When the tester retest it, if the bug is not reproducible, if the bug is fixed after verification, then they will change the status as closed. But if they identify the same issue even after the fix, then again what they will do, they again reopen it. They will change the status to in progress or open or new. Then again they will add a comments and give it to you particular developer. Okay, so this is what the life cycle that happens when you create a bug. Just to summarize, you identified a bug, you will create in the tools, then you will assign it to a particular person, then the developers start working on it. They will change the status to new to in progress, then they will start checking whether it's duplicate or not, or rejected one or not a bug. I mean, it's a functionality as per the functional is working at default. It's a bug, but they're not going to work. Let's suppose if it's a bug and they want to start working fixing on this bug in the particular sprint, then they will start working on it. They will change the status to in progress. Once they fix, then they will change the status to resolved. Then it's QA part, it's in QA bucket. Then QA team is again retest it and they will verify it. If it is not appearing again, then they will close it after retest. When they are retesting it, if they still the bug identified, then again they will assign it back to developer and they will change the status. So this is how the bug lifecycle management works, and it's very important. You might work on this. You might get this question in the interviews, and this is frequently in our day-to-day responsibilities of QA. This happens. Okay, thanks for watching.